All right, last up on member profiles, he is back, and this guy is great. Kent Barnard, he is with the Minnesota Department of Transportation, and before you get all freaked out, he has been on this show quite a bit because obviously, as you know, there's been some pretty big work being done on Highway 10 with that project in Anoka the last 2 years, some tweaking, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a second to finish that up. Then, of course, the 2-year project in Ramsey that has just started, but big stuff. If you're a regular watcher, you've heard me say it, short-term pain, long-term gain, and we are finally there. Kent, welcome back to the show. And hey, thank you so much for showing up on all these shows and really helping people understand what's going on and how they can get more information. We really appreciate your updates that you've been bringing.
We appreciate it too, Pete, so thank you.
All right, so let's talk the world of construction. It is spring 2024. That means not only do dandelions start popping up, but so do some orange cones because you guys can get to work.
Well, we did do most of our work on Highway 10 the last couple of years. We have some finishing work to complete this year. I have a quick little list if I can go through this,
just
so people know what to expect. We are going to be doing concrete sidewalk on the local roads and colored concrete under the Highway 10 bridge at Thurston and along Ferry Street and the new Ferry Street Bridge. We're going to be doing concrete median work on Thurston Avenue, Main Street, and Greenhaven Parkway. Guardrail, drainage ponds, and right-of-way fencing throughout the project area, and that's between Thurston and basically 7th Avenue in Anoka. We're also going to be doing some curb and gutter installation along the local streets. That'll handle the drainage, concrete wall painting, railings on the retaining walls, and then we've got some permanent roadway striping on the local roads too. That'll be right at the end of the project. We're doing some enhanced signing along West Main Street and at the roundabouts. We have heard complaints from people that the roundabouts are not as easy to maneuver as they would like them to be. So with some additional signing out there, we'll hopefully clear up any of that confusion out there. We're also going to be doing some other traffic changes on West Main Street, and we're going to be new flashing beacons at the pedestrian crossing at Fair Oak. And I'm almost to the end.
No, you're
Digital
good.
message sign installation on westbound Highway 10 at 7th Avenue, and that'll let you know what's going on with the traffic. And then we're going to be doing permanent seating and landscaping, plantings, and some irrigation along the corridor.
So there'll be some periodic, maybe one lanes through some of this stuff as these things are happening?
Well, Ben Nelson, who's with the city of Anoka, told me, he says, we've got to make sure we let people know, even though the work on the main line is pretty much done, there will be occasional lane closures. There'll be non-peak. There will be some closures on the city streets. So don't get alarmed if you see some barrels and some cones and some barricades go up. They're going to be very short-term closures.
Yeah, we know that you guys busted it to get that thing to where it was last November so that as we went through the winter, and I think that everybody might have this mentality, hey, completely done. Really close. And like he said, non-peak. Those are really two important words, non-peak. That means that they're going to have that thing open 4 lanes as they're running the prime time when you're either going to work or coming back. But there is fine touches. It's just like if you, as a kid, you put that model together, well, you know what? You need to paint this and you need to fix that and you need to add this, and that's what they're doing here. But when, let's face it, man, that tar stuff and all the big stuff is done. This is just some fine tune. But then, Kent, we've got activity going on because this project is a part of another project, and that's the things that are happening in Ramsey.
We have the Highway 10 Ramsey Gateway project that actually started late last summer, early fall.
Yep.
We widened the roadway out there because we're going to be able to carry 2 lanes of traffic in each direction through that project.
Right.
We're going to be rebuilding at Ramsey and Sunfish Lake Boulevards. We're going to actually take that up, and if you drive the road, you've seen Armstrong. Mm-hmm. Same thing at Ramsey, and same thing at Sunfish.
How big is that? So my understanding is that Sunfish is the project that basically the goal is to start and really crank and complete by maybe November of this year, and then in 2025 it will be the Ramsey Boulevard segment. But we're talking overpasses. Most importantly, we are talking elimination of those lights, and that's really been the goal here.
The other big safety issue there, we're going to actually grade separate the railroad and both of those roadways. You won't be stopped for trains. There will be no interplay between the two. And we're also building a frontage road between Ramsey and Sunfish Lake.
It is huge. And the other thing, and you said it, where Anoka just didn't have the width on 10 to be able to put a couple lanes each way and to keep 2 lanes each way open through the entire project, It is different in Ramsey. Trust me, and I'm constantly on 10 and running all over the region in my job. And I was watching that work that started last year, and somebody was thinking, because, hey, this 24 was coming before you know it. And that's what they were doing. They were getting ready for this. And how great is that? I would imagine not every project that MnDOT has the availability to be able to do that.
Oh, we do some work in some existing right-of-way that's extremely narrow, as
Yeah.
you pointed out in Anoka. There was just no way for us to buy temporary easement and widen the roadway.
Yeah, no doubt. So, again, cannot thank you and the crew from MnDOT enough. Everybody that had a hard hat on, to everybody that was drawing something on a piece of paper going, this is how it should look. I mean, it's a lot of players to have a major project like that done. But boy, I'll tell you what, look at the money and improvements that were spent and are being spent here in our region. I mean, it's gold. I'm so excited for the growth that I believe that we will see from a residential standpoint, because we eliminated those lights, to business growth that will follow. And I've said it from the very start of this, man, it is gonna pop, and I am so excited for that. Kent, if people have questions, or the one thing you guys did so well with the Anoka project, and I'm sure that stuff is all still up, the website, the hotline number, all of that, how do they get that information?
Go to www.mndot.gov, and there on the front page, you'll see a listing and a link for construction projects and project studies. Go there. We are going to be sending out regular email alerts. You have to sign up for those. We've got the project information on that web page, and we'll have that updated regularly to let you know what's open and what's closed. And then also, like us on Facebook. You might not have to like us really, but like us on Facebook. And then there's a hotline number, and then there is an email address to send in your questions.
You know, and you and I were talking just before we started taping this segment, Highway 65, even though it may not be in the region that the chamber plays, boy, it affects so many people. And that's a biggie that's been on the forefront of a lot of people's thoughts for a long time. Because it's a scary road. It's dangerous from time to time, which I'm sure the numbers agree with that, but boy, some of the work that's going to be done there is exciting.
Well, we're starting out with some resurfacing this year, and then, of course, the City of Blaine's got some projects starting next year, and we are looking at that whole corridor from Spring Lake Park up to East Bethel.
Yeah.
There again, we have project email updates for that too, and people can sign up for those.
Kent, you got to come back. You got to come back on this show, because we need these updates to find out how things are going. Are you good with doing that?
Absolutely.
He is a rock star. He is Kent Barnard. He is with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. A lot of stuff happening in our region. He'll be back from time to time giving us an update. All right, we're taking a break. What a show we have had, and we will wrap things up right after this.